Alright, what up? Today I want to talk about an instrument called the Love Tuner, which is a tuning fork in comparison to a big pen the size of this, and it is tied to the 528 hertz frequency. Before we go any further, I would like to demonstrate to you what this frequency sounds like. Let's go. Right. So as you can see, it is a very high-pitched noise and it is only one sort of vibration, being the 528 hertz. In this video, I'm going to talk about the effects of the 528 hertz on the body, mind, and spirit. I'm going to tie in some science, some spiritual concepts, as well as talk about its healing powers, its effect on deeper meditation, and how it allows you to enter a altered state of consciousness, right? Now, if you've ever heard the song Imagine by John Lennon, you will know that it's a very harmonious and peaceful sounding melody, and that is because it is tied to the 528 hertz frequency, right? So on their website, by the way, they're not sponsoring me. It's just that this instrument has really helped me in many ways, and I would like to talk about it because it's some interesting stuff we're going to get into. Now, they mention on their website that it balances your water molecules, connects you to the frequency of love, releases anxiety, and puts you in this altered state of consciousness, right? Before I go any further, let me give you a quote about this concept by a smart man with a beautiful mustache named Albert Einstein. He said that everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. Albert Einstein. Now, you may think that this quote ties into something like the law of attraction, or you attract what you give out, that sort of thing. But let me keep reading from the company's website. If one object vibrates simultaneously as a second object, the second object is automatically placed into the same vibrational motion. Now imagine that you are the second object, and the vibration of the love tuner brings out the love that naturally exists within you and aligns your vibrational frequency with the frequency of love, right? So this is how this instrument allows you to access that frequency of love at any given point, which is why it is such a useful instrument for anxiety relief, and why it is able to put you in this altered state of consciousness almost instantaneously. Personally speaking, after a minute of kind of connecting your breath towards this frequency, you are really, you can feel that something is changing, that you are more relaxed, that the anxiety is gone. You know what I'm saying? So that's something I'm going to talk about later. But this game of frequency is kind of the primary reason why you're watching this video. It is because the stuff I'm saying, right, like it's the same thing. It's why you're able to perceive that video. The frequency at which I operate, the frequency of the ideas that I'm communicating to you are somewhat aligned with your personal frequency. Otherwise, you would not be here watching this video. Otherwise, you would not have clicked on this video. It is all a game of alignment, right? So let's keep going to another quote by Nikola Tesla, which is that if you wish to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla. Now, it is a universal, also one of the Hermetic laws, that is the law of vibration, which indicates that all matter and molecules are constantly moving and vibrating. When we vibrate normal water at the healing frequency, it begins to vibrate synchronistically and create the crystal-shaped high-energy water clusters that form the DNA's protective matrix. Now I'm gonna talk about the effects which vibration has on water molecules. And that is directly tied to you because we as human beings are 70 to 80% water. Now there has been a Japanese scientist named Masaru Emoto who has conducted experiments on water where he exposed water towards different frequencies, emotions, music, and what he's found is that water is directly affected on the molecular level by the influence that these things have on it, right? The water which has received negative emotions, negative vibrations, distorted music, aggressive, distorted sort of things, that water, when it ended up getting frozen into snowflakes, they were all distorted. There was no clear patterns to it, no geometry to it, and it was all sort of messed up. However, when he exposed the water to healing frequencies, to prayer, to classical music, to loving words and language overall, he has been able to find that when he then went on to freeze that water, it really created this sacred geometrical, correct sort of structure in the snowflakes. These snowflakes had this beautiful geometry to them, right? So that is the experiment. And right, so now we've concluded that water is affected by its surroundings, right? And that directly ties into how these vibrations are able to affect us as human beings, being mostly water, right? Now, before I go on to talk about my personal sort of experience with this instrument, let me read some other things from their website where they talk about this frequency's ability to heal and repair broken DNA. Now, the 528 Hz frequency is the most significant solfeggio frequency and can also positively influence and repair our DNA. What's interesting about that is that the solfeggio notes have 9, right? There's 9 key solfeggio frequencies, and the 528 Hertz is the very middle one. It is the 5th one. And the love tuner, right? The love tuner 528 Hertz is tied to the heart chakra. They say that it opens the heart center. And what's interesting about the heart chakra is that it is the center chakra. Out of the 7 chakras, it is the 4th one, which is the bridge between the triangle of the lower 3 chakras, which is the sort of physical and material, emotional, instinctual, from the upper triangle, which is the logical, intellectual, mental, and spiritual, right? And the heart lies in the very center of that, which is the bridge between these 2 triangles of consciousness. So that's very interesting how when you are able to balance the center of your being, everything else comes into alignment. Let's keep going. It has a deep-rooted relationship with nature and has been proven to have healing properties and repair human DNA. What can I say about that is that this frequency is naturally occurring. It is not a man-made frequency. Where in nature do we find this is the buzzing of the bees. It is the frequency which the sun emits, and it is the frequency of chlorophyll in plants. And all of these themes have a great association with life, because without plants and also without bees, we'd be screwed. And without the sun being the giver of life for everything in this universe, right? Let's keep going. Evidence shows it positively affects cellular water clusters and assists in the removal of impurities. Bioresonance testing has shown up to a 90% increase of vital sign measurements. The healing frequency has a very special physical and biological importance. The number 528 is found in the geometry of our DNA's spiral shape, which is called a double helix. Genetic biochemists have researched and explored the effect of the 528 Hz healing frequency and are currently using it in labs to restore and repair DNA that has been damaged. The medical pioneer, Dr. Royal Raymond Rife, who researched at the beginning of the 20th century, used many frequencies in the practice of radionics or electromagnetic therapy, but he specifically referred to the 528 Hz because of its ability to repair DNA. Dr. Rife used this frequency among hundreds of others for use with his Rife machine, radionics. He referred to this frequency as DNA repair, as concluded by his extensive study of frequencies. Molecular genetic investigations have shown that this frequency can be used to repair defective DNA strands or to restore human DNA to its original state. Scientific studies further showed that it increases the UV light absorption in DNA and can cure DNA by removing impurities that cause disease. Now, just as we've discovered that it removes impurities from water, similarly, it removes impurities from DNA strands. Now, believe it or not, this whole existence is weird, so, that's what we're dealing with. The positive effects of DNA repair through the 528 Hz frequency are increased life energy, mental clarity, conscious perception, awakened/activated creativity, and ecstatic-like deep inner peace and joy. Now that I've described the sort of scientific part of this, let me talk about my personal experience with this. Now, using this as an instrument has guided me and supported my journey of learning how to meditate, because if you're a beginner practitioner in meditation, you may know that it is difficult to quiet the mind. The whole purpose of meditation is sort of to put a stillness up here, because we are overly stimulated in this modern age with constant exposure to cell phones and frequencies coming even just from places in your house like the microwave, the fridge, the cables running through your house. So you're constantly bombarded by distorted frequencies. And this really puts you in this calm state, even after 3 to 4 repetitions of taking a deep breath and exhaling through this metal pipe tied to the 528 Hz, you get a lot of anxiety relief. You're instantly in this meditative state. You're in this altered state of consciousness. And if you're a beginner, right, it's difficult to quiet the mind. So being able to concentrate on things like your breath and the sound of the 528 Hz at least gives your mind like a focus point where it can navigate and direct all of its attention while meditating. And that is useful for a beginner practitioner of meditation because, it's difficult to get that inner stillness without any external kind of instruments or help. So what else can I really say is that it does bring you inner peace. It does, like, what they say about it balancing your water molecules, relieving anxiety, putting you in an altered state of consciousness is something I have felt for myself, because it just it just does it. I don't know what else I can really say besides you having to try it for yourself. Something fun I want to try is, obviously, through the screen, through the computer, you're not going to get the same exact frequency as I can access because I have this. But let me try repeating it 3 times just so you can get an idea of what this whole thing is like. Now, namaste. Welcome to my guided meditation session. Close your eyes, relax, and let's go. Right. So I can promise you it is better in real life. You actually get the full benefits if you do it with this instrument in real life. What I tend to do is, I used to do it first thing in the morning because it really sets a good mood for the day. It really, you start the day not from kind of what your subconscious mind has been digesting while you were sleeping, but really from like a fresh start, because it really feels like this frequency cleanses your whole energy field, your whole mental state. If you know, have been exposed to some negativity of whatever sort, kind of going into yourself and using this to relieve that internal anxiety really seems to work. I tend to bring this along when I go on a hike into the forest or mountains or anything where I'm surrounded by nature, because it just amplifies the whole experience. But this also, because it is just a game of vibration, it tends to also have a positive effect on children or animals. Surprisingly, even though I am 20, my target audience seems to be people who are like 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, because not everyone who's 20 is interested in the stuff that I'm talking about. And if you have small children or pets, these living creatures are positively affected by this frequency because it calms them down. It is a very calming state, right? And yeah, I don't know what else I can really say. Let me see. Yeah, as Nikola Tesla has said, if you wish to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And by connecting to the 528 hertz, you get a deeper access to the love you already have within and to the inner peace you long for. Anything I will say beyond that is just gonna be me trying to sound smarter than I am and wasting everyone's time. So I think I've said enough. I hope this video was useful. I will only recommend you purchase one of these things, because this world really is not in a shortage of love. We could all have that, more of that for ourselves. And the more love you have within, the easier it is to give it into the world and share it with others. Because you giving love to the world is then not a forced action, but a simple byproduct of your own existence. When you are operating on the frequency of love, the only thing you can give other people is the frequency of love. Thank you for being here. See you.